Hello, Farmer Jason here at Wave Fruit Farm again. One of the things we want to do with our YouTube channel is kind of show off everything that occurs that you don't see when you visit us or your local farmer and just buy the fruits and vegetables. There's a lot of things that go into getting that delicious fresh fruit and vegetables on the counter to be able to be sold. It requires a whole farm, and running a farm takes more than just going out into the fields. It requires shops and everything else. And so we're going to show you a little bit of that. But first, I want to tell you what's behind me. What's behind me, I'm in by our shop area right now. And what's behind me is our oldest apple storage that we have here on the farm. It is from the 1890s. The building, the brown building there, was built. It actually used sawdust as an insulator for the apples. And it was in use up until about the 1950s, at which point we built a new storage. If you visit our store, it's the oldest part. It's actually where we sell the apples out of now. It was built, and now we've converted that over to a retail, and we build a new storage that I'll show you in future videos. So that is what's behind me, as well as what you see beside it is the goat pen. My two children at this point, because Evan's not old enough, Emma and Katie though, have goats for 4-H. They raise them, we get them in April, and they raise them all summer long, and then they sell them in August at the Grange Fair, our Center County Grange Fair. So they have a great time with it. We do enjoy the goats, and so that is the goat pen beside the old storage. In front of that is a water runoff area that we made. We have a lot of springs on the mountain that you see up behind me, and it gets very wet. And so last spring we dug and did a rock line channel. NRCS helped us with a lot of design and helped us out in the project. They figured out how much water came off the mountain. We made it a little bit bigger, but it's been a great project. It kept all the water, instead of running down through the middle of the road, which it used to do, it now keeps it in that ditch and really preserves the little stream that's beside us, the Half Moon Valley Creek. As part of that though, and I'm going to spin around here, we also added another building. And you see that building down behind me. We just built that this fall. You can see the grass is freshly landscaped. And we did that. Some of the things we do can contain some hazardous things such as oil and or chemicals. And so we wanted a building where we could deal with that and it would not have any chance of getting down into the stream. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna build walls inside that building. I am by no means a construction expert, but as being a farmer, you have to learn how to do a little bit of everything. So we're gonna take you on that way. I'm not gonna describe it in great detail because you can watch another YouTube video if you really want to know how to build a wall. This is just how we build a wall. And so we're going to go down in that building. I'm going to show you the building, and then we'll take a few snapshots of how I've been building the walls. All right. All right, now I'm down in the building that you can see from up above. This is called a pole building. It is not built like a traditional house. A traditional house has stud walls. What this has is big poles. You can see the poles behind me. They go down into the ground and they were concreted in, and that's actually what's carrying the weight of the building, is all of these poles that are set down in the ground. There is no foundation, but we do have a concrete pad that we poured below us. And so this is a 40 by 60 building. It's actually a nice big building. And if anybody has any questions of who our suppliers were or anything like that, please let us know. We had great success with every contractor we've used on this. I had a contractor who put up the building. I had a contractor who poured the concrete, as well as another one that put the garage doors in. So we as farmers, we like to do a lot of things. We can't do everything. So I did use some other folks for those things, but we managed the project. And what we're gonna do today is, you can see laid out on the floor here, the beginning of walls of a room. What I've done so far is just cut the bottom plates out, and I'm starting to level them. The floor is angled so that if any water gets in, it'll run down into a sump that I have right over there. And so what we're gonna do is, first thing we're doing is leveling out the floor. Then what we'll start doing is cutting the 2x6s to make the walls. Part of what goes on in farming too is you never get as much done as you want to. We had to press cider this morning, so I didn't get going building that wall as fast as I had hoped. So I needed to go home for lunch before I really got a lot more done. But on the way up over the mountain, I stopped because it just looks so beautiful. You know, we're here in early January and it's raining, and you can kind of see the mist on the mountain behind me. What's right behind me is a couple cherry trees we tore out. They died over the really wet summer we had 2 summers ago, wet winter and summer that we had 2 years ago. It was really wet, and cherry trees do not like real wetness. And so sometimes it'll actually kill them. And that's what happened to these 4 trees you see torn out behind me. Also, for any of you that were curious, in the last video I talked about how I broke a couple ribs, punctured my lung, had a pneumothorax, and blood building up in my... Anyway, I went back to the doctor the other day. They retook some x-rays, and apparently I'm fine. I still hurt. That'll be interesting, bell on the wall. I asked the doctor, how long will I hurt? And he said, a while. So I'm assuming that this is still well within normal of a while. So we're back at it. And so I just kind of wanted to show you the view up here on top of the mountains in the orchard before we got back to building the wall. All right. So on my way back in to build the wall, after eating lunch, I decided to stop by the store, make sure everybody here had a lunch break, make sure that nothing was needed. And on my way through the kitchen, I decided to stop and tape a little bit here and show you sort of the other employees we have. It takes a lot of really great employees to do what we do. We have a lot of people that have been here for a long time. And what we're gonna start doing is featuring them on our other social media, the Facebook and Instagram. You're gonna get to meet them and find out a few things about them. So watch our other Facebook and Instagram for that. One of the ones with me here right here today is Baker Kendall. Baker Kendall makes some really great pies and some other really good baked goods. She loves doing it, has done it for a long time with us. And so, but she does have a few tattoos, and she tried talking me into a tattoo. I suggested maybe I should just get one all over my face. She decided that probably wasn't my best way to do a first tattoo, so I have yet to end up with any tattoos. But we have a good time here at Wave Fruit Farm. A lot of people that have been great. We love all of our employees. Everybody's like family here. So anytime you see anybody here, feel free to talk with them. Everybody's great. We all love doing what we do. All right, we're driving down into the shop here. I'm actually gonna pull right in that big open wide door because I have the air compressor on the back of my truck that will run the nailers that I need to build the wall. So I just figured I'd give you guys a quick view of what it looks like coming into our shop area and into my new building. And so we're just gonna drive right into it. The doors are plenty big. They're 12 foot high. Even though this one isn't fully open, I'll still easily fit inside. They're 12 feet high, and this one's 20 feet wide. So it's a pretty nice big building. All right, we're back working on our wall. I brought somebody with me this time. I want to introduce them to you. We're introducing all of our employees. We enjoy all of our staff and love them like family. And so this is one of our newer. His wife Hillary worked for us for quite a while, and this is Eddie. Yeah. Eddie is originally from the Dominican Republic. Him and Hillary met while he was still actually a resident of the Dominican Republic. Since that time, he's fully immigrated here and is living in the United States full time with Hillary and their cute little boy. So that is who Eddie is. Now, one of the things that some of the younger of you on this might not know too, one of the things he didn't know was who Mr. Ed was. At one point I referred to him as Mr. Ed, and then I started laughing and he didn't understand why. And then, so with the beauty of the internet today, he did Google the show Mr. Ed and has enjoyed listening to a talking horse. I'm not sure Hillary has enjoyed the horse as much, but...
yeah, he was looking at me like weird, but she enjoyed it too.
So, if any of you have never watched Mr. Ed, please Google it. There's something about a 1960s sitcom with a talking horse that makes you laugh. So anyway, that's what we're up to. What we've done since I last did this was we now have all of our floor leveled out. Eddie, do you want to go over and point out what we were doing here? What we were doing is we got the all raised up. Our floor is not equal so that it can drain to the center over there. And now what we've done is everything is equal. You see our level over there. And what we're going to start doing now is cutting our top plates and building our walls. All right. All right. So now what we've done is we've made our bottom plates. We've laid everything out. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut our top plate. Eddie, do you want to grab the far side of this board? What we're going to do is we're going to cut it the same length as our top plate, which is 86 inches. And so we're gonna mark it here, and then we're gonna saw it. And this saw does make some noise. You can't see my face right now, but I am wearing safety glasses. Eddie's far enough away that he's okay, but I do have the safety glasses on. All right, and there's our top plate. Now we're gonna go over and lay it next to our bottom plate. All right, so now what we need to do is we cut a top plate, and we need to pull this board out, and we're gonna mark our measurements of where we want our studs to go on top of our bottom plate. So what I've already done is I got on here and I started at this point, and what we wanna do is we want we want a stud every 16 inches on center. So I'm starting at 0. So we're gonna go every 16 inches with a stud. And I've already marked it on the first one. And so now what I wanna do is I wanna transfer it to my bottom one. Or I wanna transfer from the bottom one to the top one. And so we need to make sure our boards are perfectly equal. And once we do, we mark our lines and we draw where we're gonna put our studs on at. So I'm just gonna repeat this process around the whole room here, and then we'll be ready to start cutting our studs. All right, now what we've got hooked up is, in the back of my truck is the air compressor. I turn it off so you could hear what's going on. I have my nail gun, and what we're now gonna do, Eddie, you wanna hold the far side of that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna nail our wall together. So what you need to do is you need to place, on all those marks I made, we place the board right on the end. We make sure our top is tight. We make sure everything is square. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our air gun here to nail it. So once I make sure everything's straight and square, I do 3 nails. And again, you guys can't see me, but this is one of those things where safety glasses are always required, because I don't know if you guys could see in the video the sparks flying when I did that, but the sparks do fly. So what we want to do is just get everything lined up right. Once it's lined up, three nails. All right, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna stand up our wall, and then we're gonna nail it in place, and then we're gonna secure the flooring in place. So Eddie, grab below, use your legs, as it's heavy. So what we gotta do is we gotta push it all the way up here, then we gotta scooch it back. All right, yep, we gotta get it in tight. Get it in there nice and tight. Yep, a little bit more. There we go. All right, now you hold it tight. I'm gonna nail the top in. All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna nail the top in first, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna secure the bottom down with screws into the concrete. So, first things first, Eddie, grab the level. We're gonna make sure the wall's level going up. All right, stick a level on it. The other way. Yep, right like that. Kick the bottom in just a little bit. See if the bottom will kick in a little bit. Yep. How does it look? Look good? Out or in at all, or are we good? Good? All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna secure down the floor to the concrete. Now this is called a hammer drill. It is specifically made for drilling into concrete. So what we do is we start here. Now it's very important to stop and get the wood out of your drill bit. If not, it causes your drill bit to overheat and melts it flat, which I've done. All right, and then what we do is we take a screw specifically made for concrete, and we screw down our wall, and then that way our wall is secure. So you can see one wall up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go. So we're not gonna make you watch all of our walls going up. What we'll do is we'll come back in a future episode and we will finish all of this, and I'll show you guys this once it's all up and insulated. Thanks so much for watching.